If you want to get by in life, you got two fucking options: work for somebody or work for yourself. People know, but Janice and I are on the run from the U.S. authorities. I don't even have a bank account. I haven't seen a dollar bill in so long I wouldn't recognize one. You're asking a question that has an extraordinarily moral implication to the answer. Psychedelics changed my life.
Okay, friends, I just finished up an interview with John McAfee. John McAfee is the British-American computer programmer and sold McAfee to Intel for $7.8 billion. Fantastic interview. I knew that John was going to be, the type of individual that gives you a much different perspective on life, and in part probably because he's dabbled into psychedelics. So we talked about that. Definitely need you guys, if you like our content, to follow us on all our social platforms, Twitter, Facebook, at FTM Invest, and Instagram, and also our most intimate community, which is Discord. You can find a link if you join our Facebook group. Follow the Money Investor Group on Facebook. We post the links to our Discord community on Twitter as well. And also our YouTube channel. Follow the Money Investor Group. That's where you can network with other investors and traders and see all of our video content and ask questions. And if there's someone that you want us to interview, you can let us know. For example, this John McAfee interview I did today was recommended by a friend who sent me a screenshot of John McAfee's Twitter, and we reached out and we got an interview. So if there's someone that you want us to interview or you have questions, just let us know. Send us a message or an email, and we'll get to it. Take care. So joining me now is John McAfee. John McAfee is a British-American computer programmer and businessman. He founded the software company McAfee and Associates in 1987 and ran it until 1994. And you sold it to Intel, I think, for $6 or $7 billion. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's 7.8 billion. I mean, not that it matters much at that number.
So you are an extremely wealthy man. My assumption would be you probably don't have any funds in fiat currencies because, well, the fiat currency is kind of laughable these days.
I don't even have a bank account. I have not had a bank account for years. I haven't had a credit card for years, so I can't write checks. I can't do wire transfers. I can't just go and pay for a hotel with a credit card. So I have to, as we pass through London, I don't know if you people know, but Janice and I are on the run from the U.S. authorities. After we got out of jail last year in July in the Dominican Republic, we escaped, went to London. There are hotels all over the world that only accept crypto. So we stayed at a very, very upscale crypto hotel that took Monero. And so no, I don't use fiat currency. I haven't seen a dollar bill in so long I wouldn't recognize one.
I got to ask you this question off the top because I know we've got about half an hour here. Psychedelics. What place do you think psychedelics have in the world? And we're an investment community, so psychedelics are something that is being legalized in Canada and who knows, could be across the world. What's your take on psychedelics and the benefits of it?
Yeah, you're asking. You're asking a question that has an extraordinarily moral implication to the answer. Moral meaning I'm not talking about legal or what the church or your religion may say, but no, I'm talking about the responsibility of one individual to another. And I have never, ever recommended that someone take a psychedelic. I'll be happy to tell you about my own experience. Psychedelics changed my life from an ordinary existence into an extraordinary one. However, let me tell you, the price of that, like I said earlier, I just got out of jail in last July with my wife and my staff from the Dominican Republic. I do not recommend, by the way, Dominican Republic jails. I've been in jail 21 times in 11 different countries, and Dominican Republic, I'm telling you, the very bottom of the list. No running water, no toilets, no blankets, no beds, concrete fucking floor. So anyway, but unless you are an accomplished incarceration specialist, and yes, I would recommend the Dominican Republic as the top of what you can endure. But yes, so this has been a result of psychedelics. So has my success as an entrepreneur, a software engineer, creator, an innovator. Psychedelics will change your life, but in ways that you can neither predict nor anticipate nor even prepare yourself for. So this has been my experience. I'm neither recommending or warning people away from psychedelics. And that's the best I can tell you. I wish I could say more. I cannot.
Yeah, sure. I've never done them. I don't judge people if they have, one way or other. But it is, not every day that I talk to someone who has used psychedelics. Do you think that it could help somebody with depressions or anxiety, help reset the brain in any way? Do you think that's a possibility?
Of course.
Yeah.
However, of course, you can, if you're depressed and you take psychedelics, you'd better take them with a friend who is experienced in psychedelics. Else, well, you might have a bad trip. But yeah, you cannot come down from a psychedelic and be depressed. I'm sorry. That's just not possible. It depends on the psychedelic. Psychedelics I'm talking about are not the new ones. No. Not methylene, dioxypyrovalenol, but LSD, mushrooms, peyote. These are psychedelics that, reasonably powerful. But no, you cannot come down from one and be depressed. Neither can you come down from one and possibly live the life you have lived up to that point. Now, for some, well, that may be a good thing. For me, let me tell you what my life was before psychedelics. I woke up on a Monday morning. I didn't want to go to work. It's like, oh, Monday. I went to a job that did not give me joy. Spent 5 days in that job. I came back to a wife that was no longer the woman that I'd fell in love with, that I had fallen in love with. A life of sameness along with everybody else. My half-hour commute to work and from work, waking up in the morning and coming back in the evening, an hour for lunch, 3-4 weeks vacation once a year, and the rest of the time I was a slave to the system. Well, if that is any of you and you cannot escape it on your own, yeah. Drop LSD or MDPV. you will, I promise you, escape it, and immediately. Now, what you escape it into, I cannot promise you nor even anticipate for you. It will be a new world, this I promise, and a world with infinite possibilities. But it may not be pleasant for you. I don't fucking know. I wish I could say.
Mm-hmm. Okay, stepping away from psychedelics. Yeah. Obviously, everybody knows you're into cryptocurrencies. What do you think about gold and silver?
Can you eat them?
You cannot.
Can you build a house or clothe yourself in them? Can you carry enough of it with you if the shit hits the fan and you have to escape something? No, you cannot. Trust me, gold and silver, I have owned much of it. It's heavy, cumbersome, easy to spot as you're crossing checkpoints and national boundaries. Cryptocurrency, on the other hand, well, if you want, you can have no wallet other than the wallet in your head. And you have $1 trillion and you can cross any border in the world and no one knows you're crossing with $1 trillion. No, I do not believe in gold or silver. I believe in chickens if you can eat them. I believe in automobiles. I believe in water because that's the bottom line for survival. I believe in clothes, wool and warm, cold environments, and linen in the tropics. But I do not believe in gold and silver.
What would you say to the millennials or a 20-year-old who is interested in investing, creating value to get out of the rat race? Where they can accumulate wealth so they can do whatever the fuck they want to do with their lives outside of having to make money to do things. What advice would you give them? You're 74 years old. You've made a lot of money. You've had a lot of experiences, more than probably most people, humans on the planet. If you could say anything to that generation, what would you say?
I would say that investing itself as an idea, as a paradigm, is the most horrific of all fucking inventions of the human psyche. I've never, ever invested in anything other than my own time, my own work. If you want to get by in life, you got two fucking options: work for somebody or work for yourself. But in both cases, it's fucking work, people. It's not sitting home going, oh, I think this is going to go up because go to Las Vegas. It's much quicker to lose every fucking penny that you got. No, I'm not interested in investing nor in people who invest. I'm sorry. I've never borrowed money from anyone. I've never invested in anything. Everything I have, I created myself. Investing is not creating people. It's laziness, pure and fucking simple. And cryptocurrencies, for example, are not there to invest in for fuck's sake. They are there to free you from the burden of a corrupt and powerful government, to free from the burden of financial slavery to a fiat fucking currency. I see people going, oh, what should I invest in? I go, block. I just fucking block you. I don't give a shit about investing. So I'm the wrong person to ask. I have I have taken too many psychedelics. I don't know anyone who's taken I don't know anyone who's taken psychedelics who invests in fucking anything. We're not gamblers. We are not gamblers.
Well, I've met a lot of entrepreneurs. I've interviewed a lot of entrepreneurs, and you might not be someone who believes or wants to invest, but it sounds like you invested in yourself, in your own thoughts, your own creativeness, and that's created value.
That's all you can invest in, people.
Yeah.
For God's sake, how can you invest in something outside of you? I mean, you are the only thing to invest in, whether it's education, whether it's, I want to take every penny I have and grab this opportunity that just wafted by my nose. That's the only investment anybody should ever be allowed to make, because everything else, people, is destructive, self-destructive to will, creativity, entrepreneurship, the advancement of society. You can't advance either yourself or anyone else by investing in something that you just get to sit back and go, well, let's hope that takes off. No, no, you will lose. You will lose. People go to Las Vegas. Listen, I know a lot about gambling. I used to be a gambler. Go to the craps table. The pass line in Las Vegas. The greatest odds of everything. And yet, if you play the pass line long enough, you'll be broke. The house has the odds. And you are not the house, whether it is Las Vegas or the US government or the crypto market. No, people, you are not the fucking house.
I wanted to ask you, because as I was scrolling your Twitter, you've been with Janice now for 8 years, and Janice is black, and there's these crazy issues happening in North America or in the U.S. With over the killing of George Floyd. What are from wherever you are in the world? What is your take on the way that things are going down in the U.S. over that situation?
Whoa, you would ask a deep question. I've never looked at Janice, my wife, as black. I have looked at her as a woman from a different culture with different norms, different speech. I mean, listen, okay, if you called your wife a bitch, you might get shot. But if I don't call my wife a bitch, then I don't love her. Do you understand the fucking difference? It's not skin color, it's culture. It's a culture of rap music. It's a culture of language, of manner of speech, of dress. Mm-hmm. This is the only difference between black and white as I see it. And you may disagree. That's entirely up to you. I do not see color. I mean, yes, of course, I see color, but I don't differentiate people by color. I differentiate them by language, culture, religion, customs. This is the only differentiator between people. And unfortunately, blacks, as you want to call them in America, they have a different culture, extraordinarily alien to the, as you want to call, the white culture. If you don't believe me, so listen to rap music. I mean, most white people don't even fucking understand the words. They don't understand the fucking words. So, if you're listening to a rap song going, what the fuck does that mean? Because you don't understand any of the words. This is all I've learned from my 8 years with a apparently black woman.
I look at that situation that's happened with George Floyd, and I find it quite sickening to see so much anger and disruption. Have you seen that video?
Unfortunately, I have. I wish I had not, but I have. Yes.
Yeah, I saw that video, and to me it was clear police brutality. But then you have this eruption of essentially this movement and over racism. What do you think about that? Because you're someone who you really don't care for the mainstream media, but I feel like the mainstream media had a lot to do with the energy that was put out over that incident.
Well, when I watched that video, I didn't see a white man kneeling on a black man's neck. I saw a policeman kneeling on a citizen's neck. I mean, I've been arrested 21 fucking times. There's nobody in this goddamn world that understands police better than me. Let me explain something. If you give me 2 minutes to talk, that's all I'm asking. Will you do that for me?
Sure.
Good. All right. This is difficult to explain. I'll do it the best way I can. Human beings, all of us, and if you want to deny this, that's your business, are divided into two halves. We love, we have compassion, we're generous, kind, caring. All of us, without exception, even the worst of us. And simultaneously, we are fearful, greedy, jealous, envious, angry, even the best of us. And if you give one of us, a human being, power over another human being, what part of us uses that power? Do you think love needs power? Love flowers from the human fucking heart, people. It doesn't need, want, or has no use for power. Compassion, the same thing. Caring, no. None of those things need, want, or can use it. What needs, wants, and can use power? Greed certainly can. You've got power, you can take whatever the fuck you want. If you are angry, you can smack with enough power whoever the fuck you want. If you're envious, you can either take it or replicate it yourself if you have power. People, it is the ugly, negative, destructive part of the human being that uses power in all of us. And if you think there are exceptions, then please God, spend 10 minutes looking in the fucking mirror. And so you give people power. And if you think a policeman don't have power, he's a man with a gun that can shoot you and pretty much get away with it in most cases. Then what I saw was a human being with power subjecting another human being without power to whatever they wanted. This is the problem, people. It's not black and white. It's not culture. It's power versus the powerless. And all of us that are not officials in this fucking world are powerless. And who has the power? Police, the army, local, state, federal government. We are the powerless people. And I'm sorry, I've used up my 2 minutes.
No, it's fascinating because, I've listened to some of your interviews this morning and got a feel, in a sense, for who you are as a person. And the reason why I asked you about psychedelics is I knew that's, those experiences have changed your lens on how you see, how you feel, how you think about things. So I wanted to ask you about that, even though that situation really has nothing to do with my investment community. I wanted to see how you thought about it and how you perceived it through your lens, someone who's, had these experiences. And I think, well, to be honest with you, maybe more of us need to do psychedelics. The way that right?
You said this, not me. Okay, please, God, I do not ever want to be quoted as recommending that someone use psychedelics. There is no, I mean, to me, there's only one immoral act, and that's urging another person to do drugs. It's up to that person entirely. Do not urge anyone. I can only tell you my experience and the experience of those that I have done psychedelics with. They create me and people like me. And listen, I'm the person who has been arrested 21 times. Do you want to be that person? Probably not.
How would you like, we've got 5 minutes left. How would you like to see the world, John? You wouldn't, because you don't strike me as someone who would want power, because we know what humans do with power, right?
If I wanted power, I would not be married to a black woman. I'm sorry. It's not a racist thing. It's a fucking cultural thing. I mean, if you want to know what powerlessness is, marry a black woman from a solid black heritage. Well, fuck me, they own the house, and unfortunately, I spend most of my time in the fucking house. So no, I don't want power. First of all, I wouldn't know what to do with it. I really would not. I would not. And here's why. One of the things that psychedelics does, and those of you who are religious, please pay heed to this, because you will never want to take a psychedelic. One of the things it does is it removes from your experience, your perceptions, your ideology, your understanding, the concepts of right and wrong. Well, after you've taken LSD, you know there is no such thing. And you're kind of fucked when people say, what would you do? Whoa, goddamn, I have no fucking clue. But here's what I would like to see. I would like to see a world where everyone understands who they are and what their relationship to the world truly is. That's the best I can say it. And I thank you. We're out of time. I very much appreciate your inviting me onto your podcast. And those of you who are listening, if there are any of you, it does not matter. I will leave you with one piece of advice, which has nothing, by the way, to do with psychedelics. And that is, do only what you love and nothing else. Nothing else. If you wake up on a Monday morning and you go, I got to go to work, immediately call your boss and resign. Don't bother to go in. Just say, I quit, hang up. If you come home on a Friday knowing you have to spend a weekend with your family, your wife, your husband, and that person that you married or that person that you chose to live with or share your life with is no longer recognizable as that person that you fell so deeply in love with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And that love, that sense of walking on clouds where everything is perfect, beautiful, and life is wonderful. If that's gone, then don't even bother to say goodbye. Pack your bags, walk out the back, and move on. Now, I know that may sound radical, but it is the best advice that anyone could ever give you. Do what you love and nothing else. Because people, what if this is all there is for you, this life? If that is the case, would you waste one fucking second of it doing something you didn't love? And thank you very much for having me on. And thank you, Wesley. I haven't heard from you, but I suspect you're there.
And, John, we appreciate your time. And if people want to follow your story and your journey in life, where would you prefer them to follow you?
Yeah, on Twitter. I'm a lazy motherfucker. Twitter, official McAfee. If you wish. If not, come on this podcast, because this gentleman is a fair and balanced inquisitor. Thank you very much.
Take care, John.